Good morning. My name is Sandy Meyer, and my pronouns are she and her, and I serve on your Board of Trustees. It's my pleasure to welcome you this morning. If you're here for the first time, thanks for joining us. We look forward to getting to know you. We invite everyone present here in the sanctuary today to join us in our in-person community time immediately following the service. Each week, we remind ourselves of this congregation's core values: connection, transformation, justice, and acceptance. Our mission is to embody these core values in our daily lives, and we do that by welcoming all, inspiring compassion, nurturing wonder, and serving community. On this Earth Day weekend, I'd like to highlight one of our principles: the respect for the interdependent web of the existence of all of which we are a part. We recognize that we have an integral part in the natural world, and we have the power to choose our actions to help take care of the gifts of our earth and our resources. We are spotlighting the work of Unity Temple's eco-justice system this month. Emily now has an announcement.
I'm happy to say that one of my favorite evenings at Unity Temple is coming up next weekend, the Spring Music Fest. It's this Saturday, the 27th at 7 p.m. It's an entertaining and low-cost way to welcome spring with some of the best musical talent in our congregation, and you know we have some great musical talent. Adult tickets can be purchased at the door for $25, but you can get them for just $20 today at the table in the foyer or through Realm until 10 p.m. on Friday. A link is on the unitytemple.org website. Kids 13 and under are $5 either way. Proceeds benefit the Unity Temple General Operating Fund and make programs like the Vocal Music Scholarship Competition possible. It's open to the public, so you are welcome to invite friends and family as well.
There is a family-friendly comedy event from our auction team. It's going to be open for the cost of just one drink. It will happen at the Comedyplex today at 5:30. See Paul Beckworth right there for more information. And the museum outing that was planned for today has been postponed. Now, we are glad you've joined us today, and I want to invite you to take a moment to greet one another, both online and in the sanctuary.
Thank you.
Yeah, good job. Greetings. Good luck with your sermon. Be brave.
There you go. Good eye. Yep.
Emily, do you still get a little nervous? Okay. Yeah, because I'm actually
Our chalice lighter today is Kenda. Kenda likes perler beads, dresses, and Kenda is wearing some fabulous new boots. Please join with me in the words of our chalice lighting. We are Unitarian Universalists. This is the church of the open minds, the loving hearts, and the helping hands. We take care of the planet Earth and each other.
Good morning.
Good morning.
A beloved song for all of us to get our Earth Day started. You might want to hear it too. How many roads must a man walk down before they call him a man? And how many seas must a white dove sail before she can rest in the sand? And how many times must the cannonballs fly before they're forever banned? The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. You can sing if you want to. I am not going to stop you from that. Here we go. How many years must a mountain exist before it is washed to the sea? And how many years can some people exist before they're allowed to be free? How many times can a man turn his head, pretend he just doesn't see? The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. How many times can a man look up before he can see the sky? And how many ears must one man have before he hears people cry? Oh, how many deaths will it take till they know too many people have died? Oh, the answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. Let's do it again. Here we go. The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. Nice.
Thanks, Victoria. My name is Jay Cohen. My pronouns are he, him. I'm part of the new worship associate team where we're going to be doing the opening words in a different way. So here's the opening words. When I met my husband Terry back in 1995, I quickly realized that Terry did a lot of things in nature. He liked to go camping, he was an overnight camp counselor, he led nature retreats for adults. I, on the other hand, was what I like to jokingly call an indoor boy. I was raised in an apartment. I continued to live in apartments till I bought a little condo in the city. I knew very little about nature, and it never even occurred to me that people would use their vacation time just to go sit in the woods. As it became clear that Terry and I were becoming life partners, it also became clear that I wanted to give this thing a chance. So I went on some of Terry's nature retreats, and then we went on a one-week camping trip in the woods in the Upper Peninsula, and I'm happy to report that I finally got what all the fuss was about. For me, going into nature was much more healing and fulfilling than I could have imagined. I've always been one of those people whose minds are quite busy and who tends to be anxious and overwhelmed pretty much as my baseline. And I've tried many ways of loosening the grip all of this, and I realized that one of the simplest things I can do is just step outside. I've now lived in the Oak Park area for over 25 years, and we just have this joy of the beauty of the trees, the variety of the seasons, the sounds of the birds. We have Thatcher Woods so close. I have this image that when I step outside, it's like it opens my mind and my thoughts, and it inserts some space and some calm, and gives me a sense of ease and freedom, for which I'm so grateful. In addition to the beauty of the woods, or beauty of the outside, I'd like to add that I also think humans are part of nature. And when we gather together in love and kindness, like we're doing right now, and hopefully many times in between the Sundays, we are provided with another natural force of peace and healing. We're so blessed to have this earth and to have each other. So on this Earth Day weekend, my wish for all of us is that we get a feeling of spaciousness or a sense of belonging, finding whatever connections are most helpful and healing. Whoever you are, wherever you are in your life journey, wherever you are in the world, you are welcome here.
All right, well, now that I'm organized, you can join me in singing hymn number 21 in the gray hymnal, For the Beauty of the Earth. Rise in body or spirit as you are able.
Please remain standing while we say the words of our covenant. Love is the doctrine of this congregation. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve humanity into fellowship, to the ends that all souls shall grow into harmony with the divine. Thus do we covenant with each other and with God.
Good morning. My name is Emma Farrell. I go by any pronoun spoken with respect, and I am a member of the spiritual care team. Love is the doctrine of this congregation, and one of the many ways we live that out is each week we share some of the joys and sorrows that exist within our congregation. If you'd like to share a joy or a sorrow, there are a couple of ways you can do it. There's a binder outside the sanctuary. You can just write in before service, or you can email spiritualcare@unitytemple.org. And if you would like to speak with someone about something that's on your heart, something you're going through, there is power in being witnessed. The spiritual care team is here to provide that service. Here, let me say also, you can get a hold of us, the spiritual care team, by emailing spiritualcare@unitytemple.org, and we will be happy to arrange to meet with you. Here are the joys and sorrows that we shared this week. We have 2 joys to share. Josie Johnson shares that Aaron Johnston's brother has a new baby girl staying in the hospital and asks that we send love. And Teresa Height Murray shares, my joy is that the youth group sleepover was enjoyed by all last night. Thank you for sharing, and thank you for your service there. And we know that there are many joys and sorrows being held in silence in the sanctuary and beyond, online and over throughout the world. So we invite anyone who has a joy or a sorrow to come forward and drop a stone into the bowl of water around the 4 stations around the sanctuary. And as you do this, we invite you to engage in the spiritual practice of silence. And after the prayer, we will sing Spirit of Life once as a benediction. Let us begin.
I invite you to join in a moment of prayer and meditation. Whether you are in this sacred space or somewhere else virtually, this is an opportunity to center and ground yourself. So wherever you are, take a look around. On this Earth Day weekend, feel and honor your connection to the earth, this beautiful home that we all share. Feel the earth or the bounty of the earth beneath your feet. Kindle or rekindle a dedication to preserving this one beautiful home that we have. And then I invite you to shift your gaze to your inner self, to this beautiful embodiment of stars and planets that each one of us is. If it's helpful for you as you gaze inward, you can close your eyes. Spirit of life, love, and connection, may each one of us recognize and feel that we are indeed a beautiful embodiment of stars and planets, that each of us is a child of this glorious earth. When we lose a sense of the wonder and beauty of who we are, may we find our way back to this realization that we are stardust. Through our compassion and unconditional love for others, may we help others who have lost that sense of themselves find it anew within. As we continue honoring Autism Awareness Month, may everyone, including those with autism, feel whole and loved and included. May all of us feel like we belong. And may each one of us be in touch with the whispers of our heart as we end this time of prayer and meditation with song. Amen.
If you are somebody who likes to come close when you're listening to a story, I invite you to come and sit down on the floor near me. Hi, Piper. I have a book today that is in celebration of Earth Day. It's called Big Mama Makes the World. It's by Phyllis Root, and the pictures are from Helen Oxenberry. See, we have people of all ages down here. When Big Mama made the world, she didn't mess around. There was water everywhere, and Big Mama saw what needed to be done all right. So she rolled up her sleeves and went to it. Wasn't easy either with that little baby sitting on her hip. Didn't stop Big Mama, though, not for a minute. Light, said Big Mama. And you better believe there was light. Dark, said Big Mama, and there was the dark just as big as the light. You two got work to do, Big Mama said. Don't you be fooling around none. Then she looked at the light, and she looked at the dark, and she looked at that little baby looking at the light and the dark, smiling and cooing, and Big Mama said, that's good. That's real good. That's how the first day went by. Next day, Big Mama looked around. Can't tell my up from my down, said Big Mama. Better have some sky here. And there it was, one big sky wrapping over everything, soft and blue as a baby's blanket. Wasn't much else yet but water and light and dark and sky, all doing what Big Mama wanted them to do. And Big Mama, she was pleased all right. She said, that's good. That's real good. That's how the second day went by. Next day, Big Mama looked around some more and she said, got me some light, got me some dark, but I still can't tell what time of day it is. How am I going to know when it's morning, evening, time to put the baby down for a nap? Big Mama, she wanted to know all right, and anything Big Mama wants, Big Mama gets. That's just how it goes. Sun, said Big Mama, you take care of this day business for me. Moon, said Big Mama, you take care of the night. Big Mama made the stars too, just in case old Moon overslept sometime. Big Mama looked at the sun and the moon and the stars filling up her sky just in time for the little baby's nap, and Big Mama nodded, and she smiled, and she said, "That's good. That's real good." That's how the third day went by. Next morning, Big Mama got up with the sun, and she said, "I need a place to put my feet down when they need putting down." She knew there'd be some foot putting down when that baby of hers got to growing more. "Earth," said Big Mama, "get over here." And it did. All one big ball of mud it was, nothing much to look at. Baby liked it all right, just the way it was, but Big Mama wasn't finished yet. "Need some grass to wiggle my toes in," said Big Mama. "Some big old shade trees for hanging a hammock, papayas and oranges and boysenberries for eating on." That's how it was then, just like Big Mama said, little baby sucking on a mango and grass and trees and fruit all over the place, like somebody tipped over a fruit stand. Big Mama, she looked at all that earth and she said, "That's good. That's real good." That's how the fourth day went by. Lots of folks will be penny pleased, but Big Mama, she doesn't quit the job till it's done and done right. Big Mama looked at all that water and earth and trees and sky and sun and moon and stars, and she said, "Awful quiet down there. Better have some whales, better have some birds, better have some fish." That's exactly what happened, all right. Pretty soon there were more whales and catfish and mockingbirds and crows than a little baby could shake a stick at, which a little baby could do if a little baby wanted to, since Big Mama had already made all those trees full of sticks. Big Mama looked at all that action and she said, "That's good. That's real good." That's how the fifth day went by. Big Mama was about ready to be done with it all. Making a world was a lot of work, what with the laundry piling up and the dishes needing doing. She figured she'd better finish things off in one big bang. "I need me some creepers and crawlers," said Big Mama. "Some runners and jumpers, some diggers and divers. Everybody else wants to get creative. This here's your chance." Hedgehogs and night crawlers, raccoons and garter snakes, rabbits and polar bears. That's how Big Mama made them all. One big bang. But Big Mama still wasn't done. Oh no. "I'm lonely," said Big Mama. "Who's going to sit on the front porch and swap stories with me? Not those creepers and crawlers, not these diggers and divers. They're good all right, but not one of them can tell a story worth a plug nickel. And all this little baby can say so far is goo goo gaga. I need some folks to keep me company." Big Mama, she scooped up some of that leftover mud and she pushed and she pulled and she poked and she pried, and the next thing you know, there were folks everywhere. Big folks and little folks, fat folks and thin folks, all kinds of shades of folks, and every one of those folks had a story to swap with Big Mama. "That's good," said Big Mama. "That's real good." That's how the sixth day went by, with Big Mama and all those folks sitting on the porch and gabbing while the sun went down. Big Mama was ready for a rest all right, ready to bundle up with that little baby of hers in that big blue blanket of the sky. But Big Mama had one more thing to do. She lined up all those folks and she said, "This is a real nice world we got here, and you all better take some good care of it. I'm taking a day off to rest now, but I'll be keeping an eye on you." That's what Big Mama said, all right, and you better believe she meant it. Every once in a while, when she's burping the baby or making cookies or rocking that little baby to sleep, Big Mama looks down and says, "Better straighten up down there." And every so often, Big Mama looks down on this nice little world she made, and she nods and she smiles and she says, "That's good. That's real good." The end.
Temple splits the offering evenly. One half supports the programs and mission of our congregation. This week, the other half benefits the One Earth Collective. This organization includes the One Earth Film Festival, work with local youth, and the former Green Community Connections. Some of you may have attended our One Earth Film Festival event on Friday night. Thanks for being here. One Earth Collective has grown to include work with our neighbors in Austin and organizing the work of COOP, or the Climate Ready Oak Park Group. I'm happy to answer any questions at our listening tree in the lobby after service. Today we collect funds for their mission. May what you give bring you joy.
I'm Reverend Roger, and my pronouns are he, him. The reading today is called The World Loves You Back, and it's by James Cruz in a forthcoming book, Unlocking the Heart, Writing for Mindfulness, Courage, and Self-Compassion. Reverend Emily got Cruz permission to share the reading today. Even if no one ever touched you with the tenderness you needed, believe that the world's been holding you in its arms since the day you were born. You are not an accident, an afterthought. Let rain on the roof remind you. Let sun on the skin and the neon orange of the Mexican sunflower which a hummingbird pauses to drink. There are so many ways to hold and be held, and you can spend your whole life counting them up without ever reaching the end of the list.
Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us, above us, only sky. imagine there's no countries. It isn't hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for, and no religion too. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you will join us, and the world will be as one. Imagine no possessions. I wonder if you can. No need for greed or hunger. A brotherhood of man and woman and anyone. Imagine all the people living for today. Imagine all the people living life in peace. Ooh, imagine all the people sharing all the world. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you will join us, and the world will be as one.
I was very young when I fell in love with a spider. Some of you, it must be said, might also have fallen in love with this very same spider. Her name is Charlotte. I sense some relating. Her name is Charlotte from the book Charlotte's Web. Charlotte is the spider that spun words into her web to successfully save her friend Wilbur the pig. She was fictional, of course, but when you are young, the line between fiction and nonfiction is fuzzy at best. And so whenever I saw a spider or a spider's web in those early days, it was, or it belonged to Charlotte. Honestly, I have never really lost that feeling, though surely there are spiders with other names out there. To me, they are all Charlotte. Spiders' webs are miraculous all on their own, but with this fictional story, for me, they have always had a bit of magic. I grew up in a city, and so my childhood was shaped by paved roads and sidewalks and all the things that go with an urban life. Still, I had parents who grew up much more rurally and on occasion would take my sister and I hiking and camping. My sister was here for a visit over Easter weekend, and one day when we were out walking the dog, she said, "I'm really glad Mom and Dad made us go hiking sometimes." My first response was, I liked it best when we went to McConnell's Mills and then we got to go to the penny candy store. We spent a few moments on the magic of that penny candy store. And then I remembered my favorite thing on the hikes were the touch-me-nots, this awesome plant that had buds that would explode and jump when you touched them. So deliciously satisfying. I know there are plenty of you who are deeply connected to the natural world and love spending time in the wilderness and naturally beautiful spots. I love that about you. I'm not quite there. And still, I spend hours outside walking every day, drinking in the glory of my surroundings, that is to say, those of Northeast Oak Park. I am sometimes surprised by the fact that we invited an animal of another species into our home. And I wouldn't have it any other way. Our back room that faces east welcomes in sunshine for a number of plants. Outside in our yard, the greens of the garlic planted last fall stand ready, and so on. All this is to say, even if you are an indoor person, the natural world weaves its tendrils around you and captures your hearts and minds and spirits. Maybe this is particularly true in an urban area or in our capitalist culture, but there is a way in which we can or do trick ourselves into thinking that we are separate from the natural world, but we are not. Even in this concrete box of a building, the glass ceiling means that the lighting in here is directly related to the sunshine outside. The geothermal heating and cooling system means the temperature here is connected to the earth in the best way possible. A number of weeks ago, I was out in the early evening and stopped to look across the street following my dog Lloyd's gaze. He was watching a coyote who was strolling purposefully right down the sidewalk. Lloyd's barking was not enough to distract him from his mission, whatever it was, and I was reminded of the permeability of the line between us and the wild, or rather, that it doesn't fully exist. It is a good and important reminder. In the words of the Unitarian Universalist seventh principle, we are part of an interdependent web of existence. James Cruz writes in his poem, "Even if no one ever touched you with the tenderness you needed, believe that the world's been holding you in its arms since the day you were born. You are not an accident or afterthought. Let rain on the roof remind you. Let sun on the skin and the neon orange of the Mexican sunflower at which a hummingbird pauses to drink." Years and years ago, so long ago that marriage equality seemed like a pipe dream, my not-yet wife and I went to some kind of gay and lesbian event at the National Museum of Mexican Art in Pilsen. I really don't remember anything about this event except this. One of the leaders of the event, glorious and fabulously out and proud, said, "God don't make no trash," meaning she was gloriously and fabulously exactly who she was supposed to be. It felt like it was a revolutionary statement. I remember how moved I was by this, and although it was not quite my theology as I tried it on, it felt perfectly true. There are no mistakes or afterthoughts in who we are and who we are created to be. Each one of us is good, real good. As in the first principle of Unitarian Universalism, we believe in the inherent worth and dignity of every person. I serve on the Religious Education Credentialing Committee of the Unitarian Universalist Association, and this past week was our business and interviewing meetings. The main part of what we do is credential religious educators, all of whom are currently working in congregations. We evaluate their learning and work products, participate in a worship they lead, watch a presentation, and ask them questions. Several times in our interviews, we heard these religious educators talk about the young people in their care, taking note of some of their identities, either in terms of gender identity or expression and sexual orientation and neurodivergence. They talked about how these identities are accommodated and celebrated and taken into account in their congregational programming. In another context this week, I was having a discussion with a therapist who works with kids who have autism spectrum disorder. She said, "You know, so often we give kids the message that they aren't fitting in because there is something wrong with them. But the message I work to give kids is that they aren't fitting in because the world is messed up. Or rather, I would say that we get attached to particular ideas about the way people are supposed to be and want kids to fit into those boxes." This can be true more broadly speaking. I mean, what parent hasn't had an idea about their kid that they had to let go of so their kid could be who they are? This therapist continued, "So the idea behind the therapy is not to have these kids learn to mask, that is, learn to behave like everyone else. The idea is to celebrate and love these kids just the way they are, so they gain resilience and self-esteem. And, I add, putting my own spin on it, so they know and feel that they are truly loved and can meet the world just as they are." I mean, isn't that what we each want, or perhaps I should say need, in life? As I said, I spend hours outside each day drinking in the glory of my surroundings. In these April days, it's an easy task, as it feels like the world is showing off. Though to be fair, it often feels that way. I find myself drinking in vivid colors, intricate and varied blossoms, and as a sort of spiritual discipline, making sure I give equal awe to each. That's good, I sometimes think to myself. That's real good. When it's bunnies, I say that automatically. When it's a possum, it's a little more difficult. But I remind myself that it's only my own limited lenses that make that so, not any inherent wrongness about a possum. Possums, bunnies, squirrels, coyotes, dogs, birds, cats, the animals I encounter in my regular routines, each with their own worth and place. James Cruz again. Even if no one ever touched you with the tenderness you needed, believe that the world's been holding you in its arms since the day you were born. I can remember a time when I was in college and called home to find out that my grandfather, who I loved dearly, was not doing well health-wise. I was far from home and shook up, grieving and worried. It was nighttime, and I went out onto the vast green lawn of the campus, and I laid down in the cool grass and looked up into the sky. I don't know what made me do it, but as I lay there, I felt held closely by the world and something bigger than myself. It didn't solve the problem or my worry altogether, but it reminded me that I was not alone. Another time, almost 20 years ago, I drove to North Carolina to meet old friends on the beach. I had had a busy week, and I was in a difficult time in my life, and as I drove and drove, carrying all my cares and worries with me. And then, after arrival, I walked to the shore in the sand and sat down heavily. The waves lapped up on the beach over and over again, and the sounds and sight of the ocean held me close and soothed my soul more and more deeply as I let myself just be. There's a way in which that connection, that being held, felt like feels like some kind of remembering. I took the title of this sermon from a poem called Inside It All by Rosemary Watola Trommer. She writes, "Beneath the masks, beneath the names, beneath ideals, beneath the shoulds, is a thrumming, ecstatic, atomic swirl, unseen and omnipresent, inescapable and holy. A divine blurring of being, a realm of charge and energy, most of it empty space. Sometimes I remember this. Perhaps walking in the woods or standing in the midst of a city's whir, perhaps working in the kitchen or singing in a choir, I remember who we really are. Remember not with mind, but with being. And I'm lost in it, found in it, alive in the cloud of it, astonished with the sacred design of it, elegant soup of it, elemental swirl of it all. How is it I sometimes see only woman, man, cottonwood, spider, self, other? We walk this journey of separation together. Oh, being who is lonely, remember? I feel grateful that we have this language in Unitarian Universalism to express this paradox that we live into with the first and seventh principles. One, celebrating the inherent worth and dignity of every person, our individual value, and the other, celebrating the interdependent web of existence of which we are a part, our interconnectedness with everything, particularly the natural world. At its best, this paradox calls us closely into a deep mutual care to one another and the world around us. It honors the diversities of each of us and reminds us that we are connected to something bigger. Given the opportunity, I feel certain that each of us could tell our story interwoven with the ways the natural world is part of who we are. Mine is Charlotte the spider and touch-me-nots, and the ocean and morning walks, and appreciating each flower in every way. It's also God don't make no trash, and honoring and appreciating diversities of every kind, and reminding myself, that's good, that's real good. I'm sure our stories overlap and diverge in different ways. James Cruz reminds us, the world loves you back. Even if no one ever touched you with the tenderness you needed, believe that the world's been holding you in its arms since the day you were born. You are not an accident or afterthought. Let rain on the roof remind you. Let sun on the skin and the neon orange of the Mexican sunflower at which a hummingbird pauses to drink. There are so many ways to hold and be held, and you could spend your whole life counting them up without ever reaching the end of the list. May we be reminded over and over that the world is holding each of us in its arms, both this day and all our days. And so may it always be.
Before we sing together Blue Boat Home, which is 1064 in the teal-colored book, I want to let you know that something very special is coming up in October, that the composer of this song, Peter Mayer, will be here in our congregation on October 6th with a concert the night before on October 5th. And that's thanks to Reverend Roger over there, who is familiar with him as well. So we get to look forward to that. So feel free to stand, if you are so able, and sing with me Blue Boat Home, number 1064 in the teal book. Though below I feel no motion, standing on these mountains and plains, far away from
May we open our hearts and minds to all the varieties of beauty around us. May we remember with our being who we really are, connected to it all. May we love the world, and may we constantly find reminders that we, too, are loved. Please join with me in the words of our chalice extinguishing. Carry the flame of peace and love until we meet again.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and for you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue, clouds of white, bright blessed days and dark sacred nights. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people passing by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry, and I watch them grow. They'll learn so much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful world.